Hey guys, I'm Sdanwolf. Welcome back to the channel. I've got something a little interesting for you out here in the plains of Wilderness Springs, and that is my Disneyland Haunted Mansion facade. And like I said, this is not going to be, if you've been following me on Twitter and Instagram, this is not going to be the ride. This is just going to be to help you spruce up the front. Think of this as your good starting point. The ride is going to be up to you. I'm not even going to attempt that yet. Maybe one day we'll actually connect one of our, dark ride haunted mansion recreations to this. But for right now, I'm just giving you a little bit of a head start in case you ever want to tackle that one day. I do have a time lapse at the end of this video because I know some of you technical nerds like to see some of the bits and bobs and the pieces I used and all that. Honestly though, this was like a 6-hour build, 6.5-hour build. I recorded a little over an hour and a half, and then I was like, I'm gonna eat up my hard drive. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this off. And I just kind of finished the rest of it just off camera. But yeah, this is about 6 hours in the making. It is not going to be a park file, so the Haunted Mansion is not going to live in Wilderness Springs. I just so happen to be poking around in Wilderness Springs, and when the idea struck to give it a try, I just so happened to be in this park, so I didn't create a whole new map. I just did the whole thing just right here. As a matter of fact, I was working on these buses. You can see we have a proper bus trams only lane now. So the little buses are going to come in the same directions of the cars, because people were like, where is this? Is this in Europe? Is it in America? Have you flipped the roads? And I was telling some people on there, Wilderness Springs is like wherever you want it to be. Like for me, it's in America, but for you, it can be whatever. And so we've got the buses kind of all going the same direction and going to do their little drop-offs. And I figured that was just a little better for the flow, not having any exit out of here. This is all just for coming in to the Wilderness Springs water park. But I'm getting kind of sidetracked. This is a Haunted Mansion video, and honestly, the ironwork almost canceled the project. Very, very early on, I knew that I had to try to, at least from a distance, I had to try to make the ironwork, that iconic, teal almost, ironwork had to work. It had to be believable, and I was so off in the beginning. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it happen. But this little piece right here, the mythology door, the gilded gate, saved me. It had just enough design in it to where I think, like I said, don't squint too hard, but from a distance, I think it works. Like anybody that's ever, had anything to do with Disney or has checked into the Disney parks, they're automatically gonna look at this now and say, oh, that's the Haunted Mansion. Yeah, I know that. So that's kind of what I was going for, not only for the hardcore, simulation players, but casual players. Like, if anything, like if just anybody would look at this, off the street, they would know that this is, Disneyland's Haunted Mansion version. And the only, if we're going to talk about regrets, I kind of wish I would have made the pillars maybe a little smaller and a little closer together. You run into a couple problems. One being this little guy. Let me see. This little guy right here is not scalable. The marble solid wall, that might be scalable. There was a couple pieces that I really needed to use in this that were not scalable. And if I could have made these pillars, because you'll notice, like in Disneyland, the gorgeous, antebellum mansion style that we know of as the Haunted Mansion, it's got a very distinct pillar style. They're very, very close together. Even so, you know, I'll even admit, much more closer together than what I have. These are, you know, these should be really tight in here together. But like I said, it's my interpretation. It's kind of what I could make happen in the game at this point. So I would hope you'd cut me a little bit of slack and you know, not ride me too hard on the pillar distance. I still think it came out very, very cool. Remember, the one thing about the Disneyland Haunted Mansion is Walt did not want it to be a dilapidated mansion. I believe they say he famously said one time, we'll take care of the outside and the ghosts will take care of the inside. So he did not want a, you know, fallen down, abandoned, grown over mansion. He wanted a nice, pristine, you know, mannequin, you know, really manicured yards. And, you know, that's what they did. Of course, if you're looking on Google Maps nowadays, I took a little bit of liberty on the foliage because even the most recent Google Earth, Google Map, if you fly in on the garden, on the grounds, some of it is a little, like, they've let it get a little overgrown. I don't know if, you know, that's just kind of a little bit of a theme, like a, you know, a purposeful kind of thing they've done, but it's not all, it's definitely not Mystic Manor from, what is that? I believe Tokyo Disney, and like, you know, they don't have a traditional haunted mansion like we know here in the States. It's more of a, like it has a very awesome haunted mansion flair to it. Their little yard and their gardens are absolutely pristine. Disneyland nowadays, it takes a little bit of liberty with the pristine, you know, aspect of the ground. So that's kind of what I did. I made it a little messy. You've got the gravestones kind of up here above the mausoleum, and you've got the main entrance area where I've kind of just thrown together a little, kind of like a little haphazard little queue line, which, you know, you can delete these and take these out if you ever go and need this to actually be your queue. But, you know, like I said, there are lots of things that I kind of, you know, I would probably, if I ever do, I probably would never do this again, because like I said, this was like 6.5, 7 hours of a build, and it was just, when I got going with it, I absolutely couldn't stop. I was just glued to my screen here and kind of going back and forth between Google Earth and just images people have put down, you know, just trying to get this as close as I could for you Disney aficionados. And of course, we've got a pretty good lighting package, and, you know, if you get your hands on it, you can kind of go in and spruce it up as need be. But you know, didn't want to, you know, light it up way light it up like a beacon, but, you know, wanted to have some subtle lighting. I wish it would start raining. I don't have any pictures of the Haunted Mansion in the rain yet. And remember, that's supposed to be coming with one of the hot fixes. We're supposed to be able to change the weather. So I don't know if that's going to be a December thing or if they're going to hit us with a little hot fix, you know, coming up at the end of the month, or you know, we're almost to mid-month already in November. So I don't know if any other hot fixes are coming. And you'll have to excuse the little pet graveyard. We don't really have a lot of little pieces yet. I found that little, like the little chunky Pegasus guy. I put him in there, but everything else kind of had to just be, you know, little implied tombstones. And that statue, she shrunk down really well as like a tombstone monument. That worked out very cool. We've got the kind of like the little mausoleum doors that go into the side of this hill. And, you know, back here, I kind of just closed it off with you, or closed it off for you in rocks. And back here, I didn't really theme, because this is kind of where your proper ride will start, you know, albeit if you do the stretching room, you know, whatever you decide to do, you know, you will go off back that way. So I figured I would just make that blank for you, but watch your eyes real quick. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys go subscribe to this. Go get it on the workshop. I will leave the worksheet. If you don't have anything of mine, I will leave the code number in the description box below. And like I said, if you get this in your park, or, you know, if you just ended up using it as a haunted mansion in your regular park, not saying you have to do a Disneyland recreation to use this. Send me a tweet or send me a picture. Let me show me where you actually put it in your park. And yeah, I really would appreciate the feedback down below of what you guys think of this. I try to respond back to as many of you all as I can. Guys, it's just crazy the amount of comments I'm getting nowadays, and I try to get up in the morning and reply back to as many as I can, but it is in the hundreds of comments that are coming in on this catalog of videos since we started Wilderness Springs. So cut me a little bit of slack if I don't get to everybody. I'm kind of just working through it and trying to get back to everybody's feedback. And I've got to give one more shout out to Leaf, who put his American flag set on the workshop. And I took his American flag, we've got it set up in front of Wilderness Springs now. And I also did a little WS Wilderness Springs flag also out there with the American flag. Frontier, if I know, like, Leaf did a killer job on this, but if anybody from Frontier's out there watching, now that we see this, we need real flags. Like, if you could get us real flags back in the game. Remember, we had some draped flags and real flags in the original Planet Coaster. So if we could get that where these would actually flap in the wind, that would be killer. Would love, love, love that. But yeah, guys, that is your Haunted Mansion update. That is your update 1112 Wilderness Springs update. So while you're downloading Haunted Mansion, and don't worry, the Haunted Mansion won't be in this file when you download it, but come get your most updated Wilderness Springs file. That will have this new bus entry, like the new little bus loop that I've got going on. See, I've just kind of got them, you know, circling around, and they're kind of coming over here and doing a quick little drive-by. And, you know, who knows, maybe one of these days when I actually have these functioning between the two theme parks, we'll do an actual bus stop, and, you know, I'll have some covers out there so people don't have to sit in the sun or sit in the rain. But yeah, that is the kind of like the new way we're handling the entrance. All of the vehicles will make their way into one point, and then on the back side, you know, like we mentioned, through the woods, there will be a strictly exit road. So this is kind of where all the cars will funnel in, pay for your parking, whatever, and your bus trams, they will, you know, we'll have signs out here that direct all regular traffic to keep left, and that just, you know, keeps the bus lane open and keeps because, you know, these buses, you would think, you know, in a big resort like this, of what it'll eventually be, the buses, you know, kind of they'll run on schedules from the lobby of the hotel, from the, you know, the portico to the water park, back to the theme park. You know, you would want some kind of schedule to keep the guests on, like, you know, every 20 minutes or every 15 minutes a bus shows up at the different properties. So, you know, that's just kind of a little bit of the backstory, and, you know, just kind of helping with a little bit of a touch of that realism. But all right, guys, I know I've kept you here long enough. Just wanted to show you my baby from yesterday. 6 hours. It's live. It's on the workshop right now. Go snatch it and let me know what you think. I'm Sdanwolf. As always, I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.